Evening. Welcome to the Living in Utah Thursday edition question and answer session live right here from the state of Utah. I'm Mike Gallagher. I'm a local real estate agent in the area. And this I hold every Thursday. It's an opportunity. You're welcome to ask questions about the state of Utah, real estate investing, investing in general, the United States, college football, you name it. We've talked about it probably on one of the episodes. And I've also got some news about the state of Utah that I pull up. And we go approximately, probably about half an hour. Most of these will go, and I'll stay longer. I do this from my home, so nice and comfortable. I don't have to drive anywhere. So it is not a problem to stay a few extra minutes. So grab a chair, glass of water, glass of beer, glass of bourbon, and we shall begin. So in the state of Utah this week, it has been cooler temperatures. We are in the 50-degree range. That's about normal for November. We had some rain earlier in the week, and it has dried up now. A little sunnier skies. The weekend's supposed to be sunnier. Great time. You can still go out and do your favorite outdoor activities. Earlier in the week, it was a little bit cooler doing that, but have the opportunity now. So it's happening in the state of Utah and the world. Couple of interesting articles. Our governor, Governor Cox, he held a town hall the other night. So very impressed. I like the idea that he is open, transparent, willing to be with the public, answer questions, whether people agree or disagree with his answers. I appreciate that he has devoted his time and is doing things like town halls. So in the state of Utah right now, they are working on the congressional district maps. It's being changed. So he was asked a question that would he veto what they are proposing? And he said no, there would be no veto. What is decided with the state legislature, he is going to go with. So no veto powers. It's a little bit of a hot topic in the state of Utah at the moment, but he will not veto any of those. He also talked about the labor shortages. And I think the labor shortages are in a lot of states. He says it's a problem. Every single occupation in the state of Utah, we have a big labor shortage happening right now. So he is trying to work through some of those issues. I don't know if there's a lot he can probably do off the top of my head, but we'll see. Christie, Trump. I was a little bit lost about that, but are you saying that we should vote for Trump? Maybe. Mental health. So he is working on some initiatives to change the way that we deliver mental health services in the state. That was what his saying was. His statement was. He is working on that particular thing. Oops, I meant Trump won. I joined late. Okay. Is Utah mostly red? Correct. We are a Republican state. We have voted Republican for as long as I can remember. So yes, we are a Republican state, and we do have a Democratic contingency in the state of Utah. I don't want to say that we don't. There are areas that you will see a lot of Democratic signs. We have sent some senators and congressmen to Washington that are Democratic. So, but in general, we are a red state. We also had the question about the Great Salt Lake water level. We have been in a drought for quite a few years, so the water level has decreased. And the governor has talked about enforcing some measures to reduce water consumption. And some of that will be more desert landscaping, I believe. I think that's going to be one of the key things will be desert landscaping. I've mentioned it a couple times in the past. It has always been kind of a sore point for me on the whole desert landscaping thing. You will notice in Utah when you drive by, most businesses that are newer, probably built within the last 25 years, 20 years, in most cities, every city has its role, but they require businesses to have 10% landscaping. So you'll go buy a new 7-Eleven or Maverick gas station and you'll see this beautiful grass out front. And it's not, maybe not the business's desire, but in order to get through planning and zoning, some cities require 10% landscaping in the form of grass, trees, bushes, etc. They have in the past have not allowed desert landscaping in most areas. So I see a lot of new businesses pop up and I see this landscaping and all I keep thinking is, well, it takes water to run that. So I've been in many states and I think you can make, in my opinion, you can make a business beautiful without requiring grass. So, we can do desert landscaping or decorative rocks, etc., and use less water. So, and I had a friend of mine that had an RV pad on the side of his house and put a shed in his backyard. He applied to the city. He wanted to extend his concrete from all the way back to the shed, have a longer drive. And the city turned him down. They said that a certain percentage, you could only have a certain percentage of your property, square footage, that is concrete and building construction. So, and they denied him. And he argued that, hey, I'm taking out all these sprinklers. I'm going to save water. Didn't matter. So that is one of my little pet peeves we've had in the state of Utah. And I'd like to see some of that changed. I would not object to allowing businesses to do desert landscaping. Frank, it's tough to redo the maps when central Utah is barren and northern Utah is very different from southern Utah. Correct. You are correct. And that's some of the discussion that they are having. Parts from all three regions could be grouped up together, so it's going to be problematic. However you look at the final map whenever it's made. Yeah, there's going to be issues. Nobody's going to be happy. So, and that might be one of the reasons that the governor decided, he's not going to veto it. And I don't know if you could win. So, true. Another article. And I really appreciated this particular article that came out in the Salt Lake Tribune. I talked to quite a few people that come to Utah to retire. And one of the number one considerations for retirement is healthcare. As we all get older, we all end up with some sort of medical condition or medical issues to deal with, and you would like good quality healthcare. Well, Utah ranked number 2, has the number 2 healthcare system in the United States. I was glad to hear that. I've always thought that the healthcare system in Utah was great, but I've never worked in the healthcare system. So for me to compare it was a little more difficult. So each state was scored on a number of 1 to 10, and they looked at many factors, including the number of hospitals per mile, the number of staffed beds, average emergency room wait times, the annual healthcare premium costs, and the annual premium cost changes compared to 2020. Ranked them all together, Utah came in number 2 on the list. Number 1 on the list was Rhode Island. Some of our neighboring states, Colorado come in at number 13, Wyoming 25, Idaho number 36, New Mexico number 38, Arizona 43, and Nevada 46. Bottom of the list was Georgia. Great. Steve, did not know that good news on my way. That good news on my way soon. You have good news soon, Steve? Did not know that good news on my way. There is some good news coming to you, Steve. Is that good news coming via myself? Federal government's talking about infrastructure plan. Going to spend 1.5 trillion, 1.2 trillion, something in that number. Make it 1.6. Throw me in just a wee little bit. I'll just take the extra one. What will it do for the West? What do we get out of it as a state in the state of Utah and also the whole West Coast? This article is starting to break down some of the proposals that possibly where the money might be spent. And one of the top things in the Western states would be water infrastructure. There's going to be about $8 billion for water projects across the West. You know, the West in general is suffering from extreme drought. So they are earmarking about $8 billion to help tackle some of the issues we have. Wildlife mitigation and land management. You know, the wildfires in California are just devastating. So it affects Utah. It affected our air quality. This summer, there was times that the smoke would come across and it was ugly and nasty to breathe. So they are going to earmark quite a bit of money to do fire research and help out with the wildfires. So that will be great for the whole West, state of California, Utah, Nevada, Colorado. We all were affected when the weather fronts came this direction. So there is going to be some money for roadways. Of course, most of these infrastructure plans dedicate money towards road construction and that. And Utah will dedicate quite a bit of money to fix some of our roads and bridges. We have some bridges that need to be replaced or repaired. And we also have some roads that not so much like repaired, but we do have some commute times in certain areas that are probably longer than usual. So I hope that they look at some of those areas, at how they could add lanes or reduce traffic or build another road to take some of the traffic off of a particular road, especially in Salt Lake County, Utah County, and Davis County. I would definitely like to see that. And we will not leave out St. George. Going through St. George during rush hour traffic can be very busy. There will also be some money spent on broadband network. There are 30 million Americans living in areas that have no broadband infrastructure. So there's going to be some money going towards broadband network. So that will help state of Utah, help the whole country. So I would like to see, and it's not in this report, and I don't know if it's in another report, I would like to see more electrical charging stations. My personal plan, it seems as if we are going to electric vehicles in the future at some point. I think I read an article at where 6 of the big car manufacturers said that they will no longer produce gas-powered vehicles at some point. I'm not too sure what year that was, but they signed an agreement to go to 100% electric. And we need charging stations if we're going to do that. We need charging stations. So my plan, or what I'd like to see, is the rest areas that we have in the state of Utah. We have many rest areas throughout our highway infrastructure. The state of Utah already owns the land, so put 50, 100 charging ports in every station that we have, so that as we drive, we can charge our vehicles. Because I brought this interesting thing up as it stands now. Now, I don't know all the numbers. This is just a guesstimate, but the average electric car probably goes about 250 miles. The manufacturers say only charge it about 80% to its capacity. Let's just say 200 miles. Every day, you have people leaving Salt Lake City going towards Las Vegas. You have people leaving Las Vegas going towards Salt Lake City. So either direction you're traveling, you travel 200 miles, put you somewhere around the Beaver, Utah area. A lot of people will be taking the freeway exits, looking for somewhere to charge their vehicles. Hundreds and hundreds of vehicles. It's kind of like the center point. So most people will leave fully charged out of the two major cities, and then about 200-mile range, be looking for someone to charge. And right now, we do not have the infrastructure for that. Not at all. Zippo. If 100 cars got off the freeway each hour to charge, it would not happen. It would not happen. So that's just one area. That's just one example of where we need to be, in my opinion, in the future. Apparently, you can't dislike videos on YouTube anymore. My theory is Biden, COVID, along with liberal-related videos, we're getting too many negative comments. But even if that's not it, something is up. Well, the reason that I was given for that is there are groups of people that attempt to destroy channels, subject matter, etc., that they do not like. And I don't know if it's through like Reddit or TikTok or Facebook, and they'll publish something and say, go to such and such channel, just give it a dislike. And it can crush a channel. So that it was the reason that when YouTube sent me a thing about it, that was their reasoning behind it. So it still appears when I look at my analytics, you still see the dislikes. So I assume my videos will be the same way. So yeah, it wasn't something that I did. I really don't look at it that much. Likes and dislikes in a sense. I've learned to understand that some people will like your content and some people will not. So it's just how it goes. But yeah, you can't do that anymore. I guess that maybe they will not show the like button next. So yep, that's the reasoning behind it. They're saying is there are people that are bombarding channels like in groups or something to take down a channel or take down a subject matter if they don't like the particular subject matter, et cetera, to try to bring the viewership down and YouTube promoting a video. So yes, you can still hit the dislike, but you would not see what the number is. Any more questions this evening? Steve, are you going to share your good news that you have on the way? You had me intrigued by that. I do have a question, though, for Frank, too. Frank's asked me a couple questions about college football. Curious as to know, I'm assuming you're a college football fan, what schools that you support? I would definitely like to know. That's mostly about what's going on right now in Utah. And on my list, any other questions this evening? Comments that I can address before I call it a night? Okay, I am going to wrap it up. I'll be back again next week at the same time, same place. Everybody, take care. Have a great Veterans Day.